More fallout from the LA wildfires. At the top of the show, we told you about the concerns about arsonists around the city. But there's another concern, financial, and that is price gouging, which there have been some remarkable examples of this in places that were up for rent. Obviously, people who own homes and that they're renting out know that there is going to be an increased demand for this.
You got to know. I mean, we're talking thousands of people, 5,000 plus people, and probably more who are just
completely displaced,
immediately displaced, and
they got to live somewhere.
It's supply and demand, and the house.
So you would expect some increase, right? Because you like to say supply and demand, but at some point it's just gouging.
See, the difference between you and me is I've been alive longer, and this doesn't surprise me.
For instance, there's a prime example. It was
9,000.
And now it's at 14,500.
And look, I talked to a woman I know whose house burned down, and she actually signed a lease for a lot of money. And the landlord is saying, screw you, we're getting out of the lease because we can get more from somebody else. And they're just not honoring the lease.
I've seen a friend who has to deal with this. For people who are desperate, it is a really difficult position to put them in because they got to live somewhere, right? So do they have to fall victim to this?
People are scrambling in this city.
Yeah, and it is a concern that they're all dealing with. Sometimes, hopefully, they have a good realtor who can help them navigate this. And joining us right now to discuss this issue, Lauren Ravitz is a realtor on the west side, right? Lauren, you work Berkshire Hathaway, so you're familiar with this territory. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
So how bad is it? You're in the catbird seat. What are you seeing?
We're seeing all sorts of desperation, emotions, survivor's guilt, everything in between for people looking for housing. Wanting to be closer to their community in the Palisades, obviously trying to not uproot everything for their families, not knowing if their schools are reopening, figuring out insurance and their additional living expenses and what that costs and how long it's going to take them, because literally you have to use it or lose it, scrambling to get furniture, multiple offers on leases, everything in between.
One of the things I was thinking about, and for people outside of LA, it is a very big city, just in area. And if you're trying to stay, if you lived in Pacific Palisades, are people trying to stay in that area? Or are they, at some point, they're going to run out of inventory and you're dealing with price gouging? Do you have any people who are looking for, are they moving to a different part of the city? And that means putting your kids in new schools. God, the number of challenges that they're up against, it is daunting, to say the least.
Absolutely. So we have a list of rentals that we curated with about 150 agents that last week went viral for West Side and East Side, Santa Barbara, Malibu, Orange County, etc. While most families want to stay close to the Palisades in Brentwood and Santa Monica, there were 3 listings north of Montana in nice homes on Monday before the fires. Obviously, those are gone. We are encouraging our clients to cast a wider net, to consider Mar Vista, Culver City, staying on the west side. But we've had a ton of people go to Manhattan Beach and Redondo. I know at least 30 new families enrolled in the Manhattan Beach School District, from a personal, agent that we're referring to down there. But we're helping people on the west side from the Palisades fire victims, and we're just sussing out to other agents in Pasadena that have needs where there's literally nothing, Valley, all over.
It's interesting the way, what you're talking about. For people who don't know LA, a lot of people in the Pacific Palisades, which is a very affluent neighborhood, moving to Manhattan Beach is another super affluent neighborhood, very expensive. And
about 20 miles away.
Well, about 20 miles away. Makes me think that, when you rent a place, you are absolutely at least putting down first and last month's rent plus a security deposit, and that's a ton of money. There are a lot of people in the Palisades who fortunately have that kind of money, but when you think about like Altadena, where all of a sudden you say to somebody who just lost everything, you're going to have to come up with about $8,000. I think, it magnifies the problem so much that in a way, the Palisades is kind of a rarefied area, don't you think?
I do. Unfortunately, it's kind of the tale of two fires, different economic climates and different people, and everyone's insurability is quite different. And some rentals are covering security, some insurance companies are covering rental security deposits, which is helpful. Some are not, but this can't be mobilized so quickly. So I agree, they have to have a little bit of money in the bank, and it's just all, crumbling and falling apart over this week while people are reaching out to insurance companies, and everyone's additional living expenses are different, which they're getting from insurance. So that's where we fall into the price gouging and the desperation, because it's just not equitable.
So, Lauren, I'm going to ask you a question that I'm afraid to ask because I don't know what the answer is going to be. Have you heard of any positive stories where there are people who are renting out homes who are saying, I understand the situation these people are in. It is a desperate situation. Not only am I not gouging, but I'm going to say they don't have to give me a security deposit, or they don't have to pay last month's
Or
rent.
even opening up their home.
Yeah, or even opening up. Yeah, exactly. Just where there are people who are not taking advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There are those people.
Okay.
I
All
have
right.
them in my it does exist. People are reaching out to me from literally all over. Here's my house in La Jolla. This is the address. The keys are under the mat. Send someone. I mean, that's what I got
Wow.
this morning.
Oh boy, the
Well,
ripple
we need
effect
more of
this
that,
is
but
just
unfortunately,
crazy.
we're getting
Lauren,
more gouging.
we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
The number of things that you're up against when you've lost.
It's this ripple
Their home.
effect that we still don't even know the consequences of.
Yeah.